Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to rise and have a conversation also about the violence in Cleveland. I went to the meeting that Councilman Plenzik spoke about on Saturday. I went to the one that was held at the Glenville Rec Center. And prior to going into that room, I walked through the Glenville Rec Center and I went into the restroom and I noticed the rust and the problems associated with that rec center. I looked around and I looked at the workout equipment that was in the hallway. It wasn't even put in a separate room. It was a use of a hallway for a weight room. I went in there to the basketball court and I saw it full of young African-American males, the same age, the same profile of those that we find laying in the streets of Cleveland. I went through the rec center on the way to a discussion about the uptick of violence against African-American males perpetrated by African-American males. And I asked myself the question, somewhere within the context of this meeting, within the context of the rec centers and the bad conditions of a rec center is part of the answer to the problem which I'm about to go into this meeting to discuss. It is about investing in the neighborhoods to provide options and opportunities for these young African-American men and women, but yet our rec centers look deplorable. I'm asked constantly, what is the solution, Councilman, to this increased violence? I simply tell them it's because we don't care enough to invest in you. I raised the $19 million for the scoreboard for the Browns, and people say what that have to do with the violence. It's because rec centers can be renovated with the monies that we spend with the Cleveland Browns. Rec centers can be renovated with the money that we spend with $10 million walks across freeways. That programs could be brought to teach skills. That heroin is not the only way to earn money in Glenville and Collinwood. 92 homicides. The vast majority are African-American young men. I don't need to wait for a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old to die to determine that we have a crisis. But when we have the inability to protect our young, then our city is dying itself. Tomorrow in my church in Glenville at Greater Friendship, we are going to lay to rest Major Howard, 3-year-old who happened to be in the way of a gang retaliation issue. I know that the solution is in this room, but when this council refused to put $250,000 into the violence interrupters that Councilman Reed asked for, that this council chose not to do, it is part of the reason why we have problems today. So let me just say that 601 Lakeside is not just where it ends. We're not getting enough from the business community. I'll tell you one thing, if the Browns left tomorrow, millions of dollars would be raised to bring them back. But bodies are dying in Cleveland, and they're black, and not one commitment from the private sector to stop it has occurred. So it's beyond the $1 million. I need a private sector. We need to put a partnership, and we need to look at doing a better job, and we need to fight this crisis. Thank you, Mr. President.
That is true.